Welcome back to FHIR and 5. In today's session, we're going to have a look at web status codes. So when we're querying a FHIR server, or we're posting information to a FHIR server, or even deleting from a FHIR server, we'll get back web status codes. And I thought it'd be good to just uncover what sort of status codes you can expect to see from your FHIR server and what they mean. So if you do want to know about some of the status codes that you'll get back when you're working with a FHIR server, you can certainly go to that URL in the heading there, and it will tell you the kinds of statuses that you're expecting to see. If we start off with successful status codes to start with, when we do a delete verb, so when we use the delete verb to delete a particular record from the FHIR server, the kinds of commands that we can expect to get if we've got a valid record, we can get a 200 OK, we can get a 202 accepted, which will mean that it's done the delete. If the server doesn't want to be committal around whether the record's been deleted or not, we can get a 204 no content, but it depends on the FHIR server's implementation as to what status code you're going to get. For a get or a put, we'll get a 200 OK, and for a post we should get a 201 created, so it's going to be a new entry in our FHIR server. So they're the kinds of successful web status codes that we can get from our FHIR server. So the not so good status codes. So now for the not so good status codes. Typically in the 400 series, you can also get entries in the 500 series, but the common ones that you will get are in the 400s. 400 bad request. So you'll get this if you failed some basic FHIR rules. 401 not authorized. So the particular FHIR server is requiring some sort of authorization, authentication to gain access to the FHIR server, and you haven't provided it. So definitely look in the headers for whether you're passing the right authorization tokens, if you're using bearer tokens or some form of shared secret. So be checking those headers. A 404 not found. So it's either that the particular FHIR server endpoint isn't available or not supported. So you might be trying to hit a FHIR resource that this particular FHIR server doesn't know about, or it could be that the entire URL doesn't exist. So if you were to do a read of a particular resource and that resource didn't exist, you might get a 404 not found. Method not allowed. So you could get that when you're trying to update or do a put on a resource that doesn't exist, and the server doesn't allow creation for a put event. So some of the methods when you're using put against a FHIR server, some FHIR servers support a method whereby if you supply a client provided ID or internal ID, the FHIR server can create that record in the same way that it would have been against a post, but it would use that internal ID that you're passing as the ID to the record. Not all FHIR servers support that, and if you're trying to do this against a FHIR server that doesn't support creation on put, you'll get a 405 method not allowed. 409 or 412, it's version conflict management. So if you're trying to update a record based on a particular version tag and the record's been updated since, you'll get one of those version conflicts. A 422 unprocessable is very common, and it's basically that the FHIR server hasn't been able to process or understand the query that you've tried to pass to it. So whether there was some problem in the parameters you were trying to pass, or the payload's not expected by this particular FHIR server, it'll give you a 422. And importantly, for each of those, you should be getting an operation outcome. So if you do get like a 422, which is kind of a catch-all, the operation outcome should give you some more information about why you're getting that particular error. And likewise, if you're getting a not found or a bad request, should give you some more hints around what the problem is, so you can investigate and correct the issue.